Multiplying decimals. First thing you need to worry about on multiplying decimals is get your multiplication correct. Quit worrying about the decimals and let's just get our multiplication correct. So, we've got to remember how to multiply multi-digit numbers. For instance, 3 digits times 2 digits. Now remember, on the bottom number, if there's 2 digits, that means we're going to have 2 lines down here before we add. We got 2 lines because the bottom number is 2 digits. Alright, so here we go. 5 times 5, 25. Write down your 5, regroup, carry your 2. 5 times 2, 10, plus 2, 12. Carry my 1, regroup my 1. 5 times 6 is 30, plus the 1 is 31. And that's my last digit, so my first line is 3125. Now we go to our second digit on the bottom. We'll be multiplying by 1. So that means our first number we write down will be underneath the 1. So we need to bump over, leave a space in the first, underneath the first digit because we got to get to the second digit. So bump over. Some people put zeros, some people put X's. I put bump over squigglies. Alright, 1 times 5, 1 times 2, 1 times 6. We're finished with the multiplication. Now let's do our addition down here. 5 and squiggly is 5. 2 and 5 is 7. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 and 6, 9. Now we have done our multiplication correctly. So we come to our second step. Here's where we worry about our decimal. At this point, we count all the decimal December PV. Remember what PV meant? Place value. So count all the decimal place values up in the problem. Okay, so we come over here and I see 1 decimal. So I'm going to count up however many place values it is to get to it. 1, 2. So there's 2 place values. Okay, that leads us down after we've done that count. Third step, move over that many PV in your answer and put a decimal, December, decimal. Move over that many place values in your answer and put a decimal, December, decimal. So up here we counted 2 place values to get to the decimal. So down here we move over 1, 2. There's our decimal place. So our final answer on this multiplication problem is 93.75 or 93 75/100. And that's how simple multiplying decimals is. To me, the hardest part is getting your multiplication correct. Most students have trouble with multi-digit multiplication, and that's where the problems come. All right, let's do another example. All right, second example. This one's not stacked for us. We need to stack it so we can multiply. So, pick the one that has the most digits in it, which this one has 4 digits versus 2. And let's stack it. Put the 4-digit one on top. So 0.008, 8 thousandths. Multiplied times 12, the 2 and the 1 underneath the first 2 digits. We do not stack decimals. Do not stack decimals on multiplying decimals. You stack the digits. And now we got to stack. Let's get our multiplication correct. 2 times 8, 16. Put down the 6, carry the 1, regroup the 1. 2 times 0, 0. Plus 1, 1. No regroup, no carry. 2 times 0, 2 times 0. First line is done. I've got 2 digits. That means I've got to have a second line. I got to get underneath the 1 here. So we'll bump over on my second line. And let's multiply. 1 times 8. 1 times 0. 1 times 0. 1 times 0. We finished the multiplication. Now let's add 6 and squiggly. 1 and 8. 0. 0. And 0. We have done our multiplication, step 1. Now step 2 says count all the place values, the decimal place values up in the problem. So we look up here and we see 1, 2, 3 place values to get to that decimal. No decimal here, so we're looking at 3 place values. So step 3 says move over that many place values in your answer. So from here, 1, 2, 3. So our answer is 0.096. 96 thousandths. 96 thousandths. All right, let's look at another example. All right, 5 2/10 times 6 13/100. You'll notice this one has 3 digits. So I'm going to write it on top. 6.13 times 2 digits, 5.2. Notice both numbers have a decimal. Both numbers have a decimal. That's okay, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to do my multiplication first. 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. There's our first number, first line. We have 2 digits, so that means I need a second line. Bump over. Now let's multiply. 5 times 3, 15. Carry my 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1, 6. No carry, no bump over, no regrouping. 5 times 6 is 30. No other numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and write 30 down. We have completed the multiplication. Now let's add 6 and squiggly. 6, 2 and 5, 7, 2 and 6, 8, 1 and 0, and nothing and 3. Okay, we've got our multiplication correct. Now step 2, let's count all the place values up in the problem. Okay, now notice I have 1, 2, and another one down there makes a total of 3. 2 place values in the top number, 1 place value in the bottom number gives us a total of 3 place values. Now come down to your answer and go 1, 2, 3. 31 and 876 thousandths. 31.876. And you will notice, class, Not once have I said, line up the decimals and bring the decimal straight down. It never happens in multiplication. You do not bring decimals straight down. You count up place values to the decimal, get a total, and move the decimal over that far in your answer. One more example. Let's move down. All right. 3 digits times 3 digits. Both of them are 3 digits, so we can just write either one of them down first. So 5.01 and a 1.6. Notice I did not stack the decimals. I lined up the digits. So here we're ready. So now notice I'm going to have 3 bottom numbers here. So I'm going to need 3 lines down here. Okay? That might be totally different for y'all since 5th grade. Ooh-wee. So I got to have 3 lines before I do any adding. So here we go. 6 times 1, 6. 6 times 0, 0. 6 times 5, 30. First number is done. First line is done. We're going to the second number, second line. We need 1 bump over so we can get underneath that second number. 1 times 1, 1. 1 times 0, 0. 1 times 5, 5. Second number is completed. Second line is completed. Now we're going to the third number, and our number's got to start underneath there, so I need 2 bump overs. 1 times 1, 1. 1 times 0, 0. 1 times 5, 5. Now I can add. But notice, no bump over first line, 1 bump over, 2 bump overs. If I had another number, we'd go 3 bump overs. And another number, 4 bump overs. We got to be underneath the 1. We got to start our numbers underneath the 1 we're multiplying by. 6 bump over is 6. 0 and 1 is 1. 0, 0, 1 is 1. 3 plus 5 is 8. Nothing, nothing, 5 is 5. Okay, now we're not done. Remember, we've got to count all the place values to the decimal. In the top, 1, 2, and in the second number, another one for a total of 3. So come down and in your answer, move 3. 1, 2, 3. 58.116. Multiplying decimal numbers with decimal numbers. Get the multiplication correct. Count up all the place values up in the problem. Then move over that many places in your answer. Put a decimal and you have done correct multiplication.